Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Lanes Podcast. On today's episode, part 2 of the Q&A that I ran on Instagram. If you don't know our Instagram, at @LanesMedia_, all under capitalized letters, of course. But without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the show. Welcome to another episode of the Lanes Podcast. All right, we're back for another episode for the Lanes Podcast. Part 2 of the Q&A here. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to jump straight into it. Mossy25, he asked me a question. What made you want to start a podcast? That's a good question. I think there's another question in there by someone who's basically the same. And if I cross it, I'll come back. But the reason why I want to start a podcast, so I've looked at it. I looked at it this way. Like, I love basketball. I love talking about basketball. And one of my good mates at the time, Lockie, is still one of my good mates. He asked me a question. He's like, "Oh, bro, we talk about basketball so much. Why don't we just like start a podcast?" And at that time, I was thinking about doing it. I was really thinking about doing it, and I just didn't know how to do it. And he gave me that nudge. But at the end of the day, I just thought that all these people had all these different opinions, and I thought there's no one in Australia really doing a basketball podcast. And I thought, you know what? Why not give it a crack and see how this goes? Now, I did waste a lot of time, and I wasn't really motivated doing it, but right now I have this sense of motivation, a sense of direction where I can take not just the podcast, but Lanes as a whole. So I really think this podcast can be more of a basketball, more than just a basketball podcast. I'll obviously definitely talk about basketball because that's one of the things I love. But yeah, I think, or maybe I want to start a podcast because I just want to be original, I want to be different. I want to give different people different types of content, and I think it's fun. It's a lot of fun doing a podcast. If you've never done one, try it out. It's a lot of fun. Trust me, you won't be as bad as what I first started. I was horrible. If you listen to some of my previous podcasts when I first started, like it's kind of like, you know, when you're a kid and I don't know, a lot of kids now probably have whiteboards and smartboards and shit. But when I was kind of like a bit younger, you know, there's still chalkboards. And you know when you get a chalkboard and you get your nails and you scratch it, it's kind of like what it sounded like. And for me, I'm just not too sure in like, it was just cringe, like a lot of it. Like I'm actually going to get one of the previous little outtakes we have of it. I just want to put it up there, and it shows to me how far I've come in just doing all these episodes. And doing all these episodes by myself is a lot of fun. And I know I'm going to get heaps of people to come on the podcast, but I want to do a face-to-face, have a camera with it, because it builds more of a sense of direction. It builds more of a relationship that you're building and a chemistry you're building while talking to the person. But yeah, just listen to this, guys, honestly. October. So we got to see Detroit, Orlando play. We saw Atlanta, New Orleans play. So we saw a couple teams, you know.
Overseas teams.
You know, just hear that. Obviously, you can only hear me coming out of one fucking headphone or one earphone or wherever you're hearing it, one side. You know, I was really bad. You know, Lockie would just help me out. Came on just to be a soundboard, you know, kind of bounce other directions. I was really bad at it. So like looking at it now, all the progression and all the stuff I'm doing now, It's so different. But what made me want to start a podcast? Just be different. Be original. Create different content for other people that like what I like. And if not, try to build a different type of audience. So that's why I wanted to start a podcast, Mossy25. Hype_Sydney asked me, if you had to pick one shoe to wear for the rest of your life, what would it be? Jeez, that's a tough question, eh? I love my sneakers. If you guys don't know, I got way too many as the way it is. I actually just picked up latest pickup today from Marcus Racine, my brother. We just picked up neutral grey lows, Jordan 1s, OG. They are hot as. They are a clean shoe. Gave me a steal price too. If you ever want some shoes, hit him up, man. Marcus Racine, he's the kiddies, man. He is the Sean Witherspoon of the Sydney K market. Now, what shoe rest of your life? That would be hard. Right now I'm in a dunk phase, but everybody's in a dunk phase, so that would make me not want to wear dunks. Jeez, one shoe for the rest of my life. Jeez. It'd be a Jordan. It'd be a Jordan 4. Jordan 4 and the colorway Bread 4 Bread 4. I'll go Jordan 4 Bread. I think that goes with everything. It's a bit chunky. It's a bit different. And I don't think a lot of people would think that. And Jordan 4 for me wasn't my favorite Jordan of all time. My favorite Jordan of all time was actually Jordan 5 Toro, but they're too hard to wear all the time. But yeah, Jordan 4 Bread. Hype_Sydney. Hit them guys up, man. They're really, really good people. You know, if you ever want to get some sneakers too, they're great guys. So yeah, hit them up. Another question we got from Mossy.L. Not this peasant. He asked me, where do you see the Lanes brand in 5 years? Great question. Great question. I actually really like that a lot. Where do I see it in 5 years? I see it being like a source of income for me, and I see it being kind of, I don't want to put any expectation on it, right? But I want to see it be something where if you want to hear about basketball and want to hear good opinions, you come to Lanes. If you want to hear about the new culture, the new fashion, what's dropping in sneakers, you come to Lanes. If you want to hear about basically anything in like culture-wise, mad food places in Sydney, Australia, in the world, like cool little travel vlogs, shit like that, you're going to come to Lanes. Like I want it to be like a place where people want to come to inhale content and look at mad content. And I think that's something I'm building. I'm not great at it already, and I'm learning from it. And that's the best thing I'm doing. I'm learning mistakes. Like a lot of these previous posts I put up, some of these photos are shocking, right? But I'm learning, and I've got a lot of good mates behind the scenes that are helping me out. You guys all know who you are, and I do appreciate it, but I just want it to be somewhere where people can see genuine content, have fun, feel good about themselves while listening to it, and just, really building something where I can just progress throughout my life with it, and I think that would be mad for me. Another question comes from Mossy. He said, are you going to have any guests on the potty in the future? Absolutely. I'm definitely going to have a lot of guests. As if you guys don't know, if you don't live in Sydney in Australia right now, we're in a lockdown still, and like we can't go out, like you can't really do anything at the moment. You can't even leave 5Ks out of your radius. Like it's crazy right now. And a lot of people I'm going to interview, they're in basketball, they're not in basketball, like they're all different. They're different types of people, and they're all living in different types of areas in Sydney. I'm going to have to do a lot of them on Zoom, but I actually don't want to do that on Zoom. As I said, I like building a rapport, a connection while doing this podcast. So I'm going to do them in the near future. Once lockdown ends, I've got like a list of 10 to 15 people that I want to do. There's going to be some really cool people on here, and there's going to be some people that you wouldn't even know, and that's what I reckon the coolest part, because when I listen to podcasts, I like listening to people that I don't even know about, and it makes me, you know what, I like this person, I like this person. I'm going to go have a look at what they do. Because for me, that's pretty cool if you ask me. So yeah, 5 years, possibly a main source of income, and just where everybody wants to get content, get the greatest content, they come to Lanes. Another question from Sayers.media. Great fellow this guy is. He also does some mad stuff in the media game. Yeah, wants some hype video, stuff like that. He's done some great stuff for me in the past. Really do appreciate all the work he's done for me. Favorite shoes to hoop in? All time, favorite shoes to hoop in? 2 pairs. I can't really toss them. I'd more likely go in this direction. That's the KD9. That's a kiddie shoe. That is such a great shoe to play in. For me, that the Zoom technology, the Air Zoom technology 360, the air bubble, the bag is mad. It's the best and probably most comfortable shoe I've ever had. But in saying that, LeBron, it's like the KD9 on steroids, LeBron 10, but it's just sometimes a bit too unsturdy. I think I like that KD. It's a bit lower to the ground. But right now, if I was to say a hoop shoe right now, I'm really rocking with the KD 13. That shoe's kind of got the same technology, a little bit less, but it really feels similar to a KD9, the cushioning, and I love that cushioning. It's got great traction too. So for me, favorite shoes to hoop in, KD9, but right now, currently, KD 13 is the grouse. Another question that's come from, where is he? At Doc X.CK also asked favorite hoop shoes currently, KD 13, as previously just said. CK also asked me top 3 clothing brands you're rocking at the moment. Right now, I'm rocking Earl's collection. I've just got some shorts from them. I really like them a lot. They're a bit of a different fit for me. They're a bit shorter for me, but I really like the way they're rocking. I always wear Nike, but I kind of think that's an anomaly because like every shoe I wear is either a Nike or a New Balance. So I won't include Nike. I will say New Balance though. I think a lot of people are like, oh, New Balance is back, this and that. They're never going away, people. Like they're a gun shoe. They're a gun brand. Quality stuff they always bring out. I really like a lot of the stuff they have. So for me, it'd be New Balance. Third, it's hard, because I don't really range out of a lot of different stuff. It'd probably be Harley Davidson tees. I wear that probably every second day, every third day. They're a great tee. The way they fit, I really like the way they fit. They're a bit of a boxy feel, but a bit of a loose cut too. I really like them. So probably Harley Davidson for me right now. X.CK also asked me Dunks or Jordan 1s. Easy question. Jordan 1s for me. I think Dunks is a phase. At the moment, I still think it's going to be, kind of like what, it's definitely going the path of a Jordan 1 where it can still be relevant for years to come. But they came out in the 80s, kind of went dead. SB kind of brought it back with the SB Dunk, kind of went dead. And then Travis Scott started to wear them on the previous podcast. On one of the most previous podcasts we've seen, Mark Racine had him on with Sneaker Chat. He also was talking about how they're kind of up and down. But if you can get Dunks and you get it for a cheap price retail, definitely get them because they're definitely going to go up and up in price. But yeah, I'd say Jordan 1 still, because Jordan 1 you get the highs and the lows, and there's some kiddies colorways coming out in them lows, and I think the lows are going to be like a real clean shoe, And if they bring out the OG version of the lows, like those are the ones I like, I think there'll be a lot more hype going in for them. So right now I'd say Jordan 1 CK. I know you got those Travis Scott ones. I don't know how you got them, but you're giving me the shits by having them. But yeah, nah. Tom Maneri asked me another question. Favorite clothing brand right now overseas in AU? Two different ones. AU, I'm going to count Earth's Collection as an Australian brand. They're really, really kitties. I like them a lot. It's hard, Australian brands. I did like my boys' Quarters. They brought out some really cool stuff. If you ever want to check them out, quartersbrand.com. They got some mad gear. I'll say that's my two for now. But if I had to do another one, geez, two's hard because there's so many cool ones. Sweats Collective's pretty cool, a lot of their stuff. But yeah, I'm not too sure. YKTR is really cool. Having Ice on the Ice owns that one. You know, previously I had the podcast with Isaac John. That was pretty cool. Having him, yeah, but YKTR is pretty cool. But I don't really rock a lot of their stuff, only because it's pretty hard to get at the moment. Like, a lot of their stuff sells out really quickly. I was looking forward to getting those shorts. One of the shorts, they had the Life Appreciation Club, but as I did, got sniped in the cart, so I couldn't get them. But yeah, nah. And those are my two. Australian, probably Earls, YKTR, Sweats Collective, pretty cool. Two different overseas. Jeez. Pleasures is a cool brand. I really like Pleasures. They're grouse. I actually haven't got anything of them, but I was going to get some shorts from them. They're pretty cool. I like them. I like Chinatown Market. I like a lot of the stuff they rock. They're pretty cool. You know, I haven't got a lot of the stuff. You know, I kind of keep it pretty basic. I wear shorts, t-shirt, and I usually let my sneakers do the talking. But yeah, I would say those two brands right now, overseas, Pleasures, Chinatown Market, I'll probably definitely cost them some of their stuff in the future. Another question I've been asked, Mark Racine asked me some really good ones. 3 things you can't live without. That's hard. That's a hard question. I would say my smartphone right now. Smartphone / laptop. I can't really live without that. A lot of stuff I do with this Lanes Media, it's a lot to do with, I'm on my phone a lot and I'm on my computer a lot doing all that stuff. That's a great investment. Couldn't live without education, to be honest. You always got to learn, you know, within life. Always got to learn on the go. And education doesn't mean learning through a book or learning online or at a classroom. You can learn life lessons, you know, working at a job, doing certain things. So I think education is something that I can't live without. I always want to be ever evolving and ever growing. And then another thing I can't live without, it's pretty simple. I actually can't live without sneakers because I actually find that a source of passion for me. I love it. And no, so not sneakers. Basketball. A basketball. I can't live without a basketball. Like a basketball, it seems so simple, but basketball's given me so much joy in my life. It's been a gateway for me in my life. I love it so much. It's such a fucking mad thing to play. You know, I think it's the best sport in the world. There's a reason why the ball's shaped as a globe, because it touches people all over the world. So for me, a basketball, also sneakers too. I love sneakers. Racine asked me, last meal on earth. This is kiddies. This is hard as. I'm going to go, I thought about this one really, really hardly. Chicken and chips. And there's different types of chicken and chips. You can have fried chicken, you have roast chicken, you can have, Portuguese chicken, all these types of chicken. I'd say chicken and chips. If I was to think of one place, probably Charcoal Charlie's for me. They're really consistent whenever they do it. They're pretty kitties. I like them a lot. So probably chicken and chips. That would be my one. He's also asked me what made you want to start a podcast. I've touched on that a little bit earlier. He also asked me the best piece of advice you've ever been given. Ooh, that's a good one. It's probably like that Coach Carter, and it's cheesy. It's a cheesy line now, but it's our deepest fear is not our light, is our darkness. Oh no, that's not it. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. So it's kind of like saying like our deepest fear is not that like our deepest fear is like we're so powerful and we can control so much things in our life if we have a crack at it, that we can do anything in life if we really want to, and that's scary to some people. So I think that's a really good piece of advice. And Ice gave me a good one. Ice was like, if you just double down on what you're doing and back yourself and believe in yourself, the hardest part is taking the jump. So once you take the jump, once you get yourself acclimated, you'll be okay. And and if you believe in yourself and you have something that you believe in, it's going to work out and it's going to be good. So basically, just believe in yourself, back yourself, always trust yourself. And like, for me, the way I can touch that, if you have that feeling in your stomach or your body, like where like it's a good thing, it's the right way to do it, just do it. Like that's for me, that's my thing. That's my piece of advice. Other questions. I've kind of touched on most of them right now. It's hard. Yeah, I think I've touched on most of them for now, guys. Probably my favorite question I had was probably from Marcus Racine. He had some really good questions. That one, the advice, I think that's a really good one. I think it's something that, sorry, he asked me another question. Sorry. I knew I was forgetting one. He said, what do you think you can bring to the podcast world that's unique and different these days? What I can bring to the podcast world is opinions on, and like, I think I'm pretty good at like knowing certain things. Like basketball, I'm going to be wrong, obviously, in a lot of the things, but I think I have a good knack of looking for things like that. I like talking about music and sneakers and shit like that. So I think that's stuff I can bring that's different to the game. I don't think there's a lot of like people out there that's talking about sneakers, talking about music, talking about basketball on a podcast. And I'm going to do different types of podcasts within lanes. And I think that's really cool. I think that's something that I would like if I was a person that likes to listen to content. And a lot of the stuff I'm doing is, if I would like to listen to it as a podcast, I would go and listen to it. So I would love to talk about sneakers. What's the new sneakers? What people believe their favorite sneakers are, stuff like that. That's stuff I really like. And then like that stuff, all I'm trying to do is if I like it, I'm going to do it. And that's all I'm going to try to do with this podcast. And the way I think it's different is, I just don't think there's anybody doing like a podcast every day or every second day. And I think all this content I'm going to push out there, like it's just different, because like I'm going to try to put, like, as I say, put all my fingers in different pies and give it to you guys. And I think that's so appreciative, because I'm not going to just be a typical podcast that just talks about one thing. I'm going to talk about heaps of things. And like, I'm so ready for you guys to get a lot of these one-on-ones, man. They're going to be so cool. There's so many cool guests that I'm going to get on here that you guys are going to appreciate. There's going to be some good people there, and you guys are just going to see such different sides to different things. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't get to see on podcasts. Don't get to see a lot of uniqueness and a lot of variety in a podcast, and that's something I'm going to try to bring to this podcast. But guys, those are all of the questions I have for now. There's a couple different questions in there that I couldn't answer, but guys, those are my questions for now. If you guys liked this type of Q&A stuff, make sure you let me know, if you guys want to see more of this. If you want me to do a Q&A once a month, once a week, I'm happy to do that, because it's actually, to be quite honest, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun doing this stuff. But guys, they're all my questions for now. Make sure, guys, you just like and share and subscribe all this content. It goes a long way. Let's help build this, to as big as it possibly can be, guys. But thanks for listening, guys. Take care. Thanks for listening, guys, to another episode of the Lanes Podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe all the content. Hit us up on Instagram at LanesMedia_. That's all under capitalized letters. The link will be down below in the description. Thanks for listening, guys, again. Take care. Have a great day. Peace.